Hello, good evening to all. Hello, good evening. Am I audible? Fine. So we shall continue our discussion. Last on yesterday we discussed Carnot cycle. So Carnot is an ideal cycle, right? And the efficiency is maximum when all processes are reversible. So today we'll continue our discussion and auto cycle we'll discuss. So auto cycle is having a vast application in our automobile sectors, engines, automobile engines, right? So fine. One term is there that we call mean effective pressure. Let me complete this one because this is important. So what is mean effective pressure? Uh, so mean effective pressure is in a hypothetical constant pressure, right? No, it is in a hypothetical constant pressure. If that acts, right? So work, you have this, right? Let us understand one term that we call mean effective pressure. Mean effective pressure. So what is the mean effective pressure? Uh, pressure varies, right? Now, suppose this is the process. So you have a expansion, you have a heat rejection, you have a compression. So during this expansion stroke, you have a pressure P, 1, 2, 3, 4. So here pressure varies. So you have minimum pressure, this one, and then this is your maximum pressure. So if we take one pressure and that we call mean pressure, and if we multiply with this Vs, that is swept volume, it will be equal to the work done. So PMVS is equal to work done. So Vs is a swept volume, right now. So PM is basically the area of indicator diagram, right? Area of indicator diagram into one factor, that is actually factor, and length of diagram, or this is the another way. So mean effective pressure, it may be indicated or it may be break mean effective pressure, or it may be indicated mean effective pressure. If this work done is your indicated means area under PV diagram, then it is indicated. If work output is your break output, break output means break output, then this will be your PM into Vs, right? And then PM, this will be your indicated, sorry, break mean effective pressure. So it is all about work. If work is your break output, then PM will be break mean effective pressure, and if it is indicated means the area under PV diagram indicated work output, then we call it is indicated mean effective pressure. Okay, so we shall continue our talk, uh, right? So this auto cycle, you have already studied. So quickly we'll complete this. So auto cycle is a car engine and all automobile it is used. So basically in all automobile sector, right now it is also called spark ignition engine, ignition engine, and these are all 150 or 100 to 50 years old invention. And invented was Otto. He was a German scientist. He was a German scientist. So, and he made this engine that was a working auto engine, working auto cycle engine. So what he did is he selected two isochoric reversible process where this heat addition and rejection will be there at constant volume, and two reversible adiabatic means frictionless adiabatic, and we also call isentropic expansion and compression. So basically, frictionless adiabatic we call isentropic because there is no heat interaction. There is no heat interaction in that process. If process is very fast, then there will be no heat interaction. So basically, frictionless adiabatic we call isentropic because isentropic process, because in friction heat will be generated right now, but if it is frictionless, no heat will be generated. So because of this friction, heat transfer will be there, and then it will not be remain adiabatic also. Fine. So again, two diagram we have taken, and it is also called, as I said, spark. Fine. So first one you have to remember automobile engine. Second you have to remember spark engine. Third one you have to remember these two process, two isochoric reversible and two adiabatic. This you have to remember, right? So PV diagram. 1 to 2 is your compression, and 2 to 3 is your heat addition, and then 3 to 4 is your expansion, and this 1 to is your compression. So work will be getting work, and here work is of compression, work of expansion, and Q rejection and Q addition. So there is a heat interaction, and it is complete cycle also, right now, because it should reach, yes. In the TS diagram we can draw this. 1 to 2 is your compression, so this is the 1 2 process. 2 to 3 is your heat addition process. So temperature will increase, right now temperature will increase because we are adding heat, right, and we are adding here work. And finally 3 to 4 is your expansion process. So we are getting work, again it is a constant is entropy process. And then 4 is your heat rejection. So temperature decreases and entropy decreases. In addition, temperature increases, entropy increases. So this is the basic 4 process, and from this diagram you can calculate work interaction, you can calculate efficiency, you can calculate, and same thing you can estimate from this one also. TS diagram you can everything you can know, because this area under PV diagram gives you work, area under TS diagram gives you heat, right now. So if you want to know how much heat is rejected in a 4-1 process, then you have to take the area this. So this area will be your heat rejection, Q rejection. and how much heat is added, then this will be total is up to this area, right? No, up area under this 2 3, so it will give you q heat addition, right? So we will apply first law of thermodynamics for the process right now. So let us see. Right, so we can sometime to understand, it is very good you make a cylinder also. It will make you easy to understand in which process what happens. So right, so this will be 1 to 2 will be your swept volume, this is your swept volume, this is your swept volume, and this we call clearance, right, VC. So here we have to understand compression ratio, right? So I am making it big, or no issue, I will write. So in adiabatic process there is no heat interaction, right? So 1 to 2, 1 to 2, 1 to 2, and 2 to, yes. So 1 and 1, 2 and 3 to 4 is your adiabatic reversible adiabatic. So there is no heat interaction. So heat interaction is at constant volume, right? So process 2 to 3 and 4 to 1 is your heat interaction process. So it is reversible, reversible, iso, reversible isochoric, right? Now isochoric process. This name reversible must be there. So we can calculate here Q23, I mean heat addition in 2 3 process. It is at constant volume. So we can write mCV T3 minus T2. This is the constant volume heat addition, and Q we can write in a rate form. So this Q, what is Q41 is your heat rejection, that we can write mCV, and T4 minus T1 heat rejection. So these things you got right now. So first law of thermodynamics. First law of thermodynamics for cycle, for closed cycle, you know, all summation of all heat interaction will be equal to summation of all work interaction. So heat interaction means K addition plus Q rejection equal to W expansion plus W compression. So this will be negative, right? And this is rejection, this is also will be negative because it is rejection. So Q addition and Q rejection, and that we also call W net. So W net basically is your the difference of heat addition and heat rejection. So you can write clearly Q23 minus Q41 is your this W net. W net. W net. Then efficiency, thermal efficiency of auto engine, or we can write W net, same definition, W net by Q addition, only Q addition will take. So Q23 minus Q41 divided by Q23. So finally 1 minus Q41 divided by Q23. And you know this 1 minus Q41 is your m dot Cv T4 minus T1 and divided by m dot Cv T3 minus T2. So these are all cancelled. Finally you are getting T4 minus T1 divided by T3 minus T2. So efficiency, thermal efficiency is equal to, because all process are reversible process, so it is in a reversible cycle. So thermal efficiency of the reversible cycle is 1 minus T4 minus T1 divided by T3 minus T2. That is in terms of temperature. That is in terms of temperature. Right? In terms of temperature. If I ask you what was the Carnot efficiency, then it was 1 minus TL by TH. TL by TH. Why Carnot efficiency is higher? Why Carnot efficiency is higher? And why this auto is, you can, because this Carnot engine, this try to understand. In Carnot cycle, heat addition and rejection is at constant temperature. That is isothermal process. We have already discussed. Oh shit, man! This is also ideal cycle. This is also ideal cycle. Auto cycle, all are ideal cycle, but means some energy transfer. What energy transfer? Why Carnot cycle is having higher efficiency than Otto cycle? Tell me. Why Carnot efficiency? Because I have taught you only two efficiency. One is your Carnot efficiency, one is your diesel efficiency. Sorry, auto efficiency. Auto cycle efficiency. So this I have already derived. Now I derived this one, and just I am comparing these two. Comparison. Means some energy transfer Carnot is isothermal. Okay, fine. What happens? Rajat, you unmute and tell me. You unmute. Bolo. Unmute करो और बात करो. Yes, Rajat, bolo. Everybody can, is it audible? Rajat, tell me. I have allowed. Now you can. Is it? Now it is fine.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Rajat, tell.
सर एक्चुअली जो हमारी सर कार्नोट साइकिल होती है उसमें हम सर आइसोथर्मल प्रोसेस को कंसीडर करते हैं सर,
अच्छा,
जिसमें कि सर हमारा टेम्परेचर थ्रू आउट द प्रोसेस सेम होता है।
वेरी
लेकिन
गुड,
ऑटो
राइट।
साइकिल में सर हम आइडियाबैटिक प्रोसेस कंसीडर करते हैं, जिसमें कि हमारा मास तो मतलब हमारा कांस्टेंट रहता है लेकिन एनर्जी ट्रांसफर होता है। यस सर।
हैव यू हर्ड अबाउट
सो
मीन टेम्प
अगर सर प्रोसेस फुली
बोलो बोलो, टेल मी।
यस सर, लेकिन सर अगर कोई मतलब सर किसी में सर एनर्जी का ट्रांसफर होगा तो मे बी सर सम लॉसेस होंगे और उससे उसकी एफिशिएंसी कम होगी सर।
Have you heard about mean temperature of heat addition and mean temperature of heat rejection? आपने सुना है ये टर्म, ही मीन टेम्परेचर ऑफ हीट एडिशन एंड मीन टेम्परेचर ऑफ हीट रिजेक्शन? आपने सुना है कि नहीं सुना है?
यस सर।
उसका आंसर वो उसमें है। उसका आंसर जो है मैं अभी बताऊंगा आप लोगों को। आंसर लाइज इन अ
यस सर। यस सर।
mean temperature. Okay, okay. So now I mute all again. Okay, fine. So what partially, yeah. So Rajat told something that is partially correct. So answer lies. Yes, Ravi Chandran ji, it works in a two temperature limit. What happens? I tell you. Just compare. Just compare TS diagram of these two. TS diagram, you have to compare. So let us compare. Let us compare, right? So this is your TS diagram of what? Otto cycle. And this is your TS diagram of Carnot engine. So what happens? This T is this T in fact. This T is this T. Means here heat addition process. So heat is added here. Heat is added at is added not at a constant temperature. Here temperature is not constant. It varies. Here it is at this is your heat addition. So if you find mean of these two, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So mean of these 2, 3. I am talking about the 2 and T3. Mean of mean temperature of 2 and 3, because it is not a straight line, so you cannot write this. So here what happens, we define a temperature that we call mean temperature of heat addition. That will be like here between these 2 and 3, and mean temperature of heat rejection, it will be somewhere between 1 and 4. So this temperature difference, this is, and this difference, which difference is more, x or y? So of course x is greater than y. So when temperature difference is more, efficiency will be more, because efficiency depends on 1 minus TL by TH. So this difference will be more, means TH, or what is that, TH minus TL by TH. So this difference is more, so efficiency is more. How do we calculate? Q is equal to, in this we calculate entropy. Basically, to estimate this mean temperature, T mean, there will be two mean. that we call mean temperature of heat addition, and this will be T mean of heat rejection. So T mean into delta S will be equal to Q, right? So T mean into delta S will be Q. So we can calculate P mean if you know the change in entropy in this Q. Similarly for what you call lower one. So this is the reason. This is the reason because mean temperature of heat addition and mean temperature of heat rejection is lower than this TH and higher than this, right? No, so this difference is Y, that is less than X. That is the reason Carnot efficiency is higher. Everybody understood? Clear? Now it is clear to all. Similarly, you can understand for diesel cycle, dual cycle, or any other cycle. Is it clear, Ravi Chandran ji? Are you fine? So here concept of heat, mean temperature of heat addition, mean temperature of heat rejection. Okay, so now I am going to remove all these things. Okay. So uh, one term is, so we have thermal efficiency of Otto cycle. We have understood this T4 minus T1 divided by T3 minus T2, right? And we know adiabatic relation, right? No. So what was our diagram? Diagram was this, right? PV diagram. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is your PV diagram. So 1 and 2 is your adiabatic process, and this is your Q addition, Q rejection, right? And as I said, you have to remember this T2 by T1 is equal to V1 by V2, gamma minus 1 is equal to P2 by P1, gamma minus 1 by gamma. This is the relation between this 1 and 2, pressure, volume and temperature. This relation. This V1 by V2 or V4 by V3, because V1 is equal to V4 and V2 is equal to V3. So this ratio we call compression ratio. And we denote by RK. So V1, it will be always greater than 1. Always remember, compression ratio, pressure ratio, always greater than 1. Because sometimes, oh, what is less than 1 or greater than. So always remember compression ratio is your V1 by. So we will, what we will do, what is our plan? We are going to change, you are going to remove this temperature, right? We are going to write this thermal efficiency in another form, that is compression ratio. So compression ratio is your V1 by V2 or V4 by V3, and we can apply all this. This is between 1 and 2, right? Similarly, you can apply for 3 and 4. 3 and 4, that is T4 by T3 is equal to V3 by V4, gamma minus 1 equal to P4 by P3, gamma minus 1 by gamma. So this relation you can apply between two states, 3 and 4, 3 and 4, and this is whenever V3 by V4 is there, you can write gamma, sorry, RK, you can write RK. So you can finally convert this T4 by T1, right? Now little some arrangement you have to make. What arrangement? Where this? Fine. Some arrangement you have to make, and finally you can arrive that efficiency in terms of RK. So finally, this will come 1 minus 1 by RK gamma minus 1. This will come thermal efficiency of O2. Just what you have to do, T3 by T2 equal to T4 by T1, right? Now because RK gamma is, then you have to add, sorry, not add, you have to do some manipulation, right? Now you can subtract 1, then 1, so T3 minus T2 by T2 equal to what? T4 minus T1 divided by T1. So finally this, you can do this, and finally T4 minus T1 divided by T3 minus T2 equal to T1 by T2, and finally T1 by T2, you can get gamma in terms of RK, in terms of RK. So RK will be your this gamma minus 1. So this efficiency formula is there now in terms of RK. And what is RK? That is your more than 1, means ratio of before compression and after compression. Before compression and after compression. Ratio of volume before compression and after compression. So here efficiency is a function of RK and gamma. So here Otto cycle efficiency is a function of RK and gamma. And it does not depend upon the pressure ratio or any pressure. And you know gamma value is different for different gases, monoatomic gas or diatomic gas or exhaust. So once you got efficiency, what is the question? Yes, it will be given in your problem. If it is not given, then they will clearly tell you atomic, diatomic, or so this is equal to 1 minus 1 by RK gamma minus 1. As I said, is a function of RK and gamma. Now we will draw efficiency versus compression ratio RK for different gamma value. So gamma value is different, you know, gamma value. If I ask you gamma for air, it will be your 1.4, and diatomic, like in nitrogen N2, H2, it will be your 1.4. And for monoatomic, 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 like your helium or xenon, monoatomic, it will be more, that you can check in your 12th class. And for exhaust, and you know exhaust, you have an air plus fuel, right? Now air fuel, that will take generally 1.3. So you must remember this gamma value. And for different, so this is for air generally, because 70% is your nitrogen, right? Now N2, you have O2, right? Now so it is 1.4. Diatomic gas 1.4, 1.67, 1.3. So we'll draw now graph between gamma thermal efficiency and RK for different gamma value. So you see that when gamma increases, your gamma increases means this quantity increases, right? Now this quantity increases, so it means this quantity decreases. This quantity decreases means this quantity increases. So when gamma increases means thermal efficiency increases, because gamma increases, this value increases, this value increases means this value decreases, this value decreases means this value increases. So for different gamma, there are 1.3, 1.4 and 1.67. This is your gamma value, and we'll draw y is equal to 1 by x raised to power n. So curve will be like this, 1 minus. So curve will be like this. It will go like this, it will go like this, it will go like this. And what is this? This is your value of RK. Right now RK, when thermal efficiency is 0. So 1 minus 1 is equal to 1 by RK gamma minus 1. So gamma you put value and calculate RK. That RK will be there. Right now RK will be there. That RK will be there. So it is very clear. Thermal efficiency, when RK value increases, thermal efficiency increases in general, but after some value it is almost parallel, means so we have a limiting compression ratio. You cannot increase compression ratio beyond some value. Even though if you increase compression ratio, the efficiency will not change much. Efficiency will not change much. So as I said, so you have this curve, it will go asymptote, and there is a this is gamma increases. So you have this, and this is your RK increases, and finally there is a limiting value, and that limiting value is generally 9 to 10 RK. So RK is equal to 9 to 10 is the limiting value maximum. And this is your RK, that is called V1 by V2. So you cannot change the volume this much, means this is your compression volume, and your expansion will be 9 times 9 into V1, V2, like that. Means it will your VS will be your V1 minus V2, right now, and you know the compression ratio RK, that is V1 by V2. So Vs you can calculate in terms of initial volume on this RK. It is clear now how efficiency changes, gamma changes. So this is clear, or I should explain once again? Do I need to once repeat, or everything fine? Yeah, please tell me whether do I need to repeat, because I know you guys are knowing. That's why I'm not showing that much serious, because it is very basic things. You might. So mean effective pressure, Vpm into V1 minus V2 equal to W. So this we can write Pm into Vs, swept volume. V1 minus V2 is your swept volume. Swept volume equal to W. W is your W net, right? W net. So what is W net? Is your already we discussed from applied first law of thermodynamics. So W net will be Q positive minus summation Q negative, and this we can write MCV T2 minus T1 minus MCV, the rate form MCV T3 minus T4, and finally PM into Vs. So PM you can calculate. PM you can calculate, right? No, PM you can calculate. And PM you can calculate if you know this. So this divided by square volume, right now. But sometime some relation is used. What is the relation? That is your homework. Please find PM in terms of RK and P1. So you have to remove all this temperature, and in terms of P1 you have to find. Just please find PM in terms of RK and P1, right? You have to, and that will come PM is equal to P1 RK. I am directly writing because I know it is not having that much utility. RP minus R1. What is RP? That RP will come, that we call pressure ratio. That is actually P3 by P2. P3 by P2. So you know this 2, 3. So this is your pressure ratio. P3 by P2. That we denote by RP. RK gamma minus 1 RP minus 1 RK gamma sorry RK minus 1 into gamma minus 1. So this is your RK gamma minus 1 minus 1. So this will come just in the exercise. I think now you have understood something. Fine. Let us solve a problem. An engine working on the Otto cycle. Please write is supplied with air at 0.1 megapascal, 35 degrees centigrade. The compression ratio that is your V1 by V2, you know, it is always greater than 1 is 8. Heat supplied is heat supplied is 2100 kilojoule per kg. Calculate the maximum pressure and temperature of the cycle. So maximum temperature will be 3 and maximum pressure will be also 3. Temperature of the cycle mean effective pressure and this is just in a practice problem. What we have discussed is to be used because at least some basic understanding is required first. Then we can go in the advanced problem. Cycle efficiency. So for air, Cp, and this value you please must remember. This will, required entire life. Kilojoule per kg. Cv is 0.718 kilojoule per kg. Easy. Please solve this. And I write answers also so that you can verify. Maximum temperature T3 will be 3633 Kelvin. Maximum pressure will be P3, that is 9.426 megapascal. And then efficiency will be 0.565, and your mean effective pressure will be 1.533 megapascal. 1.533 megapascal. And one more thing, right? Cycle efficiency. What is that? Maximum pressure, temperature, cycle mean effective pressure, cyclic. Please solve it. I give you maximum 15 minutes. Please solve. Take your own time because Zoom subscription we have purchased. Practice. Yes, yes. Hello, hello, everybody. Anybody got the answer? Satyam 70. P281. What happened? Where is the answer? So tell me what is the answer this one, please. Nobody is serious or what? Very nice, very nice, very nice. So P3 is your maximum pressure and temperature. It is clear. So we have to find this. That is maximum pressure and temperature in a cycle. And we have yes, Satyam, you are right. Again, V1 by V2 is your 8. So V1 is equal to 8 V2. And then pressure P1 is given to you, that is 0.1 megapascal. And P1 is also given to you, that is 35 plus 273. That is equal to, that you can add right now, 8, 5, 8, 7, 10 in 308 Kelvin. Right? Heat supplied is equal to Q23, we know, that is equal to 2100 kilojoule per kg. Then efficiency, and you have to find main effective pressure, you have to find, right? And T3, and you have to find, and P3 you have to find. Now only you have mathematics. You have relations. You have to use the relations. You know what is heat addition, heat rejection, right? So gamma is Cp by Cv. It is 1.4 air. Then heat supplied Q23 is equal to m dot Cv T3 minus T2, that is equal to per kg, right now. So per kg is given. So this is your m is your 1 kg, right? And 1 kg. 1 kg. So T3 minus T2 is your 2100 divided by Cv. And now we'll use relation T1 by T2, V1 by V2, gamma minus 1 equal to P2 by P1, gamma minus 1 by gamma. And then, you know, V1 by V2 is your 8. So, you know, equation 1 and equation 2, T2 by T1 is equal to 8, gamma minus 1. And you know, T1 is your 308 Kelvin. So, from equation 1, 2, and 3, you can find T2. So T2 will come 708 Kelvin. Then CV T3 minus T2 is equal to this value. So you can calculate here T3 because T2 you know already, and CV you know T3 will come 636333 Kelvin. Now you have to find P3. P3 is equal to what? And you know P2. P2 you can calculate P1 by P2 is equal to V1 by V2. Gamma minus 1 is equal to P2 by P1. Gamma minus 1 by gamma. So this you know 8. So you can calculate P2 because you know P1. P1 is given to you. So the P2 you can calculate 1.873 megapascal. And then PV, P2, V2, universal gas law we can apply to a state, that is equal to MRT2, and P3, V3 is equal to MRT3. So right, so we can now write volume V2, V3 will be same because it is in a constant volume. So you can calculate P3. P3 will come T3 by T2 into P2, and that will come 1.87 9.4. Efficiency you can calculate. Efficiency is equal to 1 minus 1 by RK gamma minus 1. RK you know 8, gamma is 1.4. Very easy, you can calculate efficiency. Right? Then mean effective pressure you can also calculate. PM V1 minus V2 is equal to then work done. Work done you can calculate efficiency into Q addition. Right now. So efficiency you know, addition you know, that is 0.5655565 into 2100, and that will be W net. You know this V1 by V2 you don't know. V1 you can calculate P1 is equal to MR P1, M is 1 kg. So you can calculate here V1, and V2 you can calculate V2 by V1 is 8. So P1 you can calculate PM. Everything is over. Rajat, very good question. How did we know T3 is maximum, not T4? Where is the T4? Where is the T3? Where is the T3, T4? Rajat, hello. Hello, Rajat. You see this? This. This is your T3. This is your T4. Clear? It is clear? From TS diagram. We got from TS diagram. TS diagram. TS diagram and TS diagram. Are you convinced? From the TS diagram, no guess, nothing. I have two diagram, PV diagram, TS diagram. I can tell you here is the pressure maximum in PV diagram. PV diagram, pressure maximum P3, and TS diagram T3. Lowest one is your 1, 1. So, okay, today class is over. If you have any doubt, please ask.